This is the vocabulary list for Signing Naturally, Lesson 9-1. In Unit 9, we are going to learn signs for places. And so in Lesson 9-1, we are focusing on neighborhoods or, the kind of place where you'd like to live or, things that it's close to or far away from. It's kind of a long list, so let's get going. So the first 6 signs are about sort of the area that you would live in or next to or whatever. And so each of them will end with a sign for area, which is a 5-hand shape. And you just do a little bit of a circle movement here from your elbow. Okay. So the first one is the downtown area. So that's signed downtown area. The second one is business area, like a business part of section of town, right? So you want business, or you can have the supporting hand as an S hand shape if you want, your non-dominant hand, business. The way that you sign industrial area is machine area. So machine, if you remember that from ASL 1, machine area, industrial area. A residential area is signed home area. So for residential area. Farm area is a 5-hand shape for farm. You're going to go cross body. So if you're right-handed, you start on the left side of your mouth. If you're left-handed, you start on the right side of your mouth. Okay, so start here with your thumb and just come around. Farm area. And then country, like if you live out in the country area. So your non-dominant hand should come up so you can use your elbow here. Your dominant hand is a 5-hand shape and you just do little circles like rubbing. Okay. I've also seen country signed with a Y. So country area. The next 3 are places that you live that are just finger spelled. They're loan signs. So now they're their own signs, right? Lexicalized signs. Loft, apartment, and condo. Across from or opposite, like if you're living across the street from whatever, McDonald's or whatever. So you want 2 1-hand shapes. Palms kind of, they're not really facing each other. They're sort of facing you a little bit here. And then you just come across. So this is opposite or across from. Now it's different from the sign different because your palms face forward there and they kind of cross each other first. Opposite or across from, you're just pointing right at your one finger points to the other and they touch. Then they don't touch. All right, back or behind, like if your apartment is across from the McDonald's, but it backs up to a farm, then it would back behind. Swimming pool is just swim, and then pool is finger spelled. A farmer's market is farm, and then spelling market. A horse trail is a 3-hand shape with your fingers close together. Touch your thumb to your forehead, and then like a horse's ear, you're just gonna flop a little bit. So that's horse, and then trail is finger spelled. A ferry is finger spelled. Baseball, 2, S hand shapes, one on top of the other. Go over your dominant shoulder like you're holding a baseball bat. Baseball. Art studio. So you sign art first. So we did this in ASL 1, I think. So flat hand shape on your non-dominant hand, palm facing you, pinky out for art or draw. And then this is a wrist movement here. All right, so that's art, and then studio is finger spelled. White collar and blue collar. We learned in, I think it was unit 8, but maybe unit 7, the sign for collar, which is this way, but this is a different type of collar. It's not so literal. So white collar and blue collar, you sign white, but then you sign and blue, but you just sign collar a little bit differently. So white collar, you'll sign white. So again, a 5 to a squished O handshake. Start with 5, squished O, right? Okay. So white. And then collar is a G hand shape, and you just kind of come across your neck on the side. Okay. So for white collar, then blue collar. Cheerful or friendly, like if you're describing neighbors or the neighborhood. So 5 hand shapes, and then you wiggle it back as if you're smiling. Yay. Friendly, cheerful. Nosy, not noisy, but nosy, like in everybody's business. So you want a C hand shape on your non-dominant hand, out here in neutral space in front of you, your palm facing sideways. You trying to decide if you, yeah, I think you bend. I think it starts with an X hand shape and just maintains the whole time. So that's nosy. It's like, here's your nose, and it's going into that person's business right there. Nosy. Professional can be signed 2 ways. It can be signed initialized from English and then another way. So I'll show you both. So on your non-dominant hand, flat hand shape, palm facing sideways, neutral space out here in front of you. For your dominant hand, you can start with a P. That will be our initialized sign. And you need to just get your thumb out of the way there on your non-dominant hand. Take that P and just go straight down your finger. Professional. You can also, instead of doing the P hand shape, do a flat hand shape. Professional. This means a major as well, or it could be like your field of study or your field of work, your professional work, your field. So major or professional. Professional. Okay. Retired. Retired for a long time was signed initialized. So this is vacation, remember? Holiday. So it comes from that. Only you do R handshapes instead. I have seen that change a little bit. I have a deaf friend who just retired, and she doesn't do the R's. She does just L's, so that it's not because it's an L, but just because it's not an R. So this is retired. It's like half a vacation, like partial vacation, retired. Okay. Diverse or varied. So if the neighborhood that you're talking about has a lot of diversity in it, you want 2 one-hand shapes. And you kind of just go up and down, like this one and this one and this one. We have all sorts of different languages in my neighborhood. We have all sorts of different activities, whatever. All right, the next one is Asia. So you want to do an A hand shape at the beginning, then you're going to end with a 5 hand shape. And it looks like this. Whoops, sorry. Sorry, I did the wrong way. So you do a little circle and then come up with your 5. So circle. When I slow it down, sometimes I can't do it very well. Asia, Asia. Okay. African American. So you're first going to sign Africa, then America. So Africa starts with a 5 and comes down to a point, right? It's actually the shape of the continent of Africa. It starts big like this, and then it comes down to South Africa, right? So Africa, America. That's African American. Or you could sign black. It's just the one hand shape straight across like your forehead, like we learned when we learned colors. Black. White, a white person is not just signed white. It's actually signed differently. You have to do a little bit of, there's just a little change that indicates you're talking about a white person, not just a white envelope or whatever, right? So a white person is, you start with white and then you actually throw it in your face. So white, it's white face. India is a thumbs up hand shape, but you put it in the middle of your let's see, middle of your forehead and turn. India. India. All right, maybe your neighborhood is quiet. So you want to start like this, one hand shape, like shh, right? And then you bring it down this way, two flat hand shapes, quiet. The opposite of that would be noisy. So touch your ear and then 5 hand shapes that shake. Noisy. Safe can be signed 2 ways. One of them is finger spelled. The other one is safe. Danger or dangerous, like a neighborhood that's dangerous or anything that's dangerous. Let's see. So on your non-dominant hand, I'm going to say thumbs up on that. Yeah, thumbs up on that. Thumbs up on both hands, okay? Your dominant hand, you're going to rub this part of your hand against the outside of your hand, okay? So it comes up, 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 fast, dangerous. So you're pointing to yourself with your dominant hand every time. Dangerous. Traffic, you can say you have a lot of traffic or not very much traffic. 5 hand shapes, palms facing each other, and you just go back and forth. This is traffic. Traffic. The sign for empty is, well, it's kind of a locative sign, so you can sign it in different places, and it means it like hurt, right? You sign it in different places. But if you're doing empty, so this is the empty hand shape, okay? Empty streets would be, so again, the opposite of traffic, right? Either your neighborhood has some traffic or none, empty streets. Clean. If you're asking yourself if that's the same as the sign for nice, yes, it is. Clean. This is the adjective, it is clean. If you're talking about I'm going to clean my room, a verb, you repeat it. But if your neighborhood is clean, dirty, expensive, so remember the sign for money like this? It starts that way, only you kind of throw it away. Expensive. Cheap. Non-dominant hand is a flat hand shape, palm facing sideways. Your dominant hand is also a flat hand shape. You probably want to get your thumb out of the way a little bit, and you just hit going down. Cheap. Cheap. So expensive, cheap. Then the last sign is the sign for until. This is also the sign for to, which I know we don't use all the time in ASL like we do in English, but the sign for until. So you want 2 one hand shapes. Your non-dominant hand palm faces you. Your dominant hand palm faces away from you, and then your dominant hand moves until it touches. Until. And I think it's good to think about it with the ASL timeline, where if this is the present and this is at some point in the future, you're going to do it from now and then again and later and later and later until this point. Okay, so until. And there is lesson 9-1 vocabulary.